Next on News Center 13 Update, we'll tell you why you could be paying higher gas prices next month. Local car dealers are happy with action taken today by the Reagan administration. We'll tell you about that.
The City County Council backs Mayor Hudnut's position on searching out Nazi Party members in city departments. Those stories, test run news from the Speedway, and a good-looking weather forecast from Bob Gregory. Next on the News Center 13 Update.
It's late. Parents, do you know where your children are?
From the News Center of Indiana, Barry Judge, Cameron Harper, Bob Gregory Weather, and Don Hines Sports. This is News Center 13 Update, Central Indiana's fastest growing news program.
Good evening. The Indiana Senate is the next test for a bill to raise the state's gasoline tax 2 cents a gallon. The proposed increase survived committee action today by just 2 votes. The tax would generate at least $80 million a year, money highway officials say that is badly needed for road repairs. Attempts to funnel the money to rural counties and other areas with bad roads were killed. If the Senate approves the legislation and the governor signs it, as he says he will, we'll be paying 2 cents more per gallon in gasoline taxes next month. It is now 8.5 cents per gallon.
The Reagan administration today decided to relax many safety and pollution standards on domestic cars. The move comes as a relief to the automakers, and it could save consumers more money. A report tonight from Bill Gephardt.
Automatic seat belts, airbags, impact bumpers, good gas mileage, and pollution standards. All safe and efficient, but they cost the automakers billions. Regulatory changes to dump those costs came from the cabinet-level Auto Task Force.
Every item which we have outlined, we think that the safety benefits are negligible, or we would have not put them in this program.
Reaction from domestic automakers was understandably happy. The relaxation of the rules will chop the cost of cars by around $150, and it could stimulate sales. Most dealers in our area were pleased, but not overjoyed.
I don't think it's going to have an immediate effect. I think in the long run it'll have a good effect.
If it's good to see the government getting in, relieving the public and the automobile industry of all these regulations.
Alleviate some of the pressures on the dealerships and the consumer as well.
I just feel like it's too little too late. I think you're not going to see effects immediately, but I think you in the overall thing that you will.
The auto industry may be happy, but consumer advocate Ralph Nader called the move a government sellout to General Motors. Bill Gephardt, News Center 13.
A bill strengthening nursing home laws was revived in the Indiana House today. Supporters succeeded in adding the measure to a Senate-passed bill. If approved, the bill would establish the State Board of Health as the official watchdog agency over nursing homes. It also provides for a broad range of penalties for violations of nursing home conditions and for violations of patient rights. The House action came while hundreds of senior citizens were at the State House rallying for support of the measure. The bill still faces a final House vote and goes back to the Senate, which blocked a similar measure. Barry?
A State House amended hazardous waste citing bill completed just today must be considered by the Senate before it goes off to the governor. Only 8 of 24 proposed changes were approved by the lower chamber today. The fee charged site operators for burial of toxic waste was tripled to $1.50 per ton. The cash would then be used for emergency preparedness in the event of any spills. Lawmakers today refused to change the language, allowing a state board to locate a new hazardous waste site over local objections. The City-County Council got behind the mayor tonight in his effort to get to the bottom of Nazi activity in city offices. The council unanimously approved a proposal to back the mayor's investigation. The measure calls for the immediate release of any employee found to belong to a hate, terrorist, or what the mayor calls subversive group.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City County Council supports the mayor in his efforts to identify public employees affiliated with any hate group or terrorist organization. 2, the City County Council urges the mayor, the sheriff's merit board, the police merit board, and the fire merit board to seriously consider matters of conduct which are unbecoming of a public employee.
Glenn Howard, a Democrat, answered that Republican-backed proposal with one from the Democrats, which also received voice approval from the City-County Council. 2 building projects also received approval from the City-County Council tonight. The councilman voted to allow the first step in the jail expansion program. The building authority can now select an architect to come up with alternative proposals on the expansion plan. Councilmen from both the Democratic and Republican caucuses will oversee that procedure. The council will want several ideas now on how to expand the facility, but still at the same time meet Judge Dillon's orders to improve jail conditions. That set of alternatives is due to the council and the judge by the 30th of June. 21 council members also put their names on the sponsorship tonight of a proposal to issue bonds for a domed stadium in the downtown area. Although that measure is just going to committee now, it has overwhelming support in the City-County Council already. A full vote will be taken on that plan April the 27th.
The State Department is accusing the Soviet Union tonight of violating an international agreement because of the military activities in and around Poland. But that was expected. What was unexpected and what has the Reagan administration watching closely tonight is Soviet President Brezhnev's surprise visit to the Communist Party Congress in Czechoslovakia. With the support of Brezhnev, the head of the Communist Party there attacked the leadership of Poland for failing to restore order to the Polish country. The Christians and the Muslims continue to throw bullets and rockets at each other in Lebanon, but tonight the rhetoric is heating up too. It all is creating a new threat to peace, stability in the Middle East. Secretary of State Alexander Haig was in Israel today, where the Prime Minister told him the Israelis are under great pressure to join in the fighting on the side of the Lebanese Christians. Haig later blamed Syria for most of the fighting and warned it would have the most serious consequences. On the other side, the Secretary General of the Arab League was blaming Israel for the fighting.
Daily trips to George Washington University Hospital by top White House officials may not be necessary after Friday of this week. That's when President Reagan is expected to return home. Mr. Reagan is reported doing fine tonight as his damaged left lung slowly clears of dried blood and dead tissue. The president is seeing visitors, napping a lot, and joking somewhat. He is running a slight fever tonight, however. Doctors are giving him additional antibiotics. President Reagan and 3 other men were shot a week ago today. Tonight, all 4 are said to be improving on a daily basis. There isn't much resemblance between Mr. Reagan's economic package and the alternative submitted by House Democrats today. The proposed plan calls for less defense spending and more for welfare and a variety of other social programs. Democrats replaced the administration's 3-year across-the-board 30% tax cut with a much smaller tax reduction. Budget Committee Chairman James Jones said that his plan would produce a balanced budget in fiscal 1983. The president's men tonight are accusing the Democrats of trying to balance the budget by the use of higher taxes, and they call that unacceptable.
There is a major decision tonight for religious freedom on the job. The United States Supreme Court has ruled that a worker who quits his job because of his religious beliefs can collect unemployment benefits. The action was based on an Indiana case, a Jehovah's Witness who quit his job rather than make parts for military tanks. It was a sweeping decision, an 8-to-1 vote. Chief Justice Warren Burger wrote that religious beliefs need not be acceptable, logical, consistent, or comprehensible to others to be constitutionally protected. Coming up, mine workers and industry officials may have something to talk about soon.
Steel workers are having a bit of a problem with their industry in Muncie. We'll have that story for you, too, when we come back.